Hello everybody and welcome back to Broken Brain. And before we start this video today, I want to say 100% I am not being paid, nor was I asked to make this video whatsoever. I'm making this video to highlight this book on its own merits from my point of view. Now there's a new book that is being created called Achromatic Chronicles Green. Now, the reason I'm interested in this book is for one reason. A couple years ago, when the first one, Blue, was released, I bought it for my son and myself. Got it right here. And I thought it was cute. I thought it was sweet. And ever since my son's finished it, he's been asking when the new one's coming. That alone has me following this book series. Now, J. David is a YouTuber, and he does a lot of different things. He's with a lot of different people. I've been following his YouTube channel for a number of years before I even started this one. And I really like Jay as a personality, as a person. He seems genuine. And when he was talking about this book and how he had this idea, he used to be, before he started doing YouTube, he was a former teacher that went to, I believe, Haiti and taught children down in Haiti before he came back to the States. So he wanted to write something that he felt like his kids that he taught would enjoy. So he wrote Achromatic Chronicles Blue. Now, it is a very cute book, and basically the rundown is all the characters in it live in Gray World. Now I'll show you so you can kind of see everything's gray except John, the main character, meets this little ball here, wrong side, Blue, that takes him, hopefully I guessed this right, to a world of color. And it's a very heartwarming story, and it's Blue is part 1, Green is part 2, and there will be a part 3 and part 4. I don't remember what the colors are, but there's going to be two more books after this one. And any book that has my son going, when do I get the next one, gets my attention. So I'm coming at this as, I wanted to support Jay as a creator, and so I bought a book for my son and myself because I thought he might like it on the off chance, and he didn't like it. He loved it. I enjoyed it. I did. It's definitely geared towards younger audiences, and but it can be enjoyed by any age range. It really can. So he is launching now with a campaign to fully fund this next book, and that's why I'm bringing this up, because it's finally here. My son's happy. I've already ordered our copies, so I just kind of want to let you guys know that this book exists, and it's from an indie creator, and it's coming through Ripascend, which is a division of the Ripaverse Comics that does publishing. And some of y'all may know Ripa, who does ISOM and a couple other comic books. I'm not really a comic book person anymore, so I don't have anything. And from Ripa's side, but I am supporting Jay in these books because my son loves them. He loved the first one. He wanted the second one. And so here's where I just kind of want to give a rundown, but luckily, fun stuff. You don't see this very often. Well, I don't see it very often. Not saying it's not often, but they made a trailer for the upcoming book, and I just want y'all to get to see kind of what gives a little glimpse into the previous book and this book better than my words can, I think. So let's just watch this trailer real quick. It's just a minute and a half.
Every day I do the same thing. I go to school, I do my homework, and I go to bed. I wake up the next day, and I do it all over again. No one in Gray World ever does anything different. Here, different is the worst thing you can be. If you are different, you go away, and you don't come back. I don't want to be different. Besides, everyone is depending on me to do the right thing. My dad, my friends, my teachers. My only escape is playing in the woods. Sometimes I play with my best friend John, but most of the time I play by myself. John isn't afraid to ask questions and be different. The more questions he asks, the more questions I find myself having. I can't help wondering what might be outside Gray World, and I can't stop. Can you keep a secret? I even made a new friend. Her name is Green, and she comes from the color world. Green needs my help, and I have a feeling things are never going to be the same.
Now see, it's a heartfelt book. It's just a good story of, touching on topics that as a former teacher, he was well versed in, some of the things that some of his kids that he taught dealt with. So I love that fact that he's able to tap into some of the things, how some of the kids feel that, that something like we as parents don't always see it from that side. So books that tap into that and let them connect to the material to help explore what they're going through and what they're seeing, what they're thinking, that's a plus. That's a plus for me, 100%. So I find what J. David is doing great. I love it. I want to support him. I'm hoping that someone that watches this video sees it, has a child that does this, and supports it as well. And I mean, it's not like, I forget, but all the characters in the books, in the Fortuna and the other two that are coming up are all in the first one. And you're like, oh, well, this is the second one. Thankfully, since this is getting a much bigger release and he did a very small indie campaign for the release of the first book, I'll just go down. They're doing a lot more stuff because he's now with a publishing creator that can do a lot more than what he did independently by himself. So yeah, there's merch and stuff, shirts and things like that. You can get CGC graded versions, but you can also get the catch-up pack, which is you can get both books actually at a discount because the new ones, they're $35, and if you get both, it's $30. And here's the difference. This is, if you ever want to know, like, oh, well, if you ever, not that it'll ever come up, but first editions don't have the Rippa Sin symbol right here, like it does on those, the little Rippa, little lightning symbol. And I don't know if I can see, but the writing is reversed. It should be flipped completely this way. The name should be the name of the book should start here, going this way, and then followed by the author's name down here. So it's flipped on the original one. So that's how you know you got an original release copy. But these are good books, and like I said, I asked my son, I was like, I had him come in here, and I was like, hey, what cover do you want? Because you can choose from 3 different colors. There's cover A, which looks very similar to the first one. You got cover B, which is a more stylized, more of what you see in the actual graphical novel here, and it's just a better color, more fully colored. And then there's also the collector's edition cover, which is more kind of that realistic art. And I was kind of surprised when he asked which one you want. He goes A, which is this one. And I was like, really? I said, why A? He goes, well, I want them all to look the same. I was like, oh, my poor son, you have my OCD too? Because that's what I was getting. I was like, yes, I kind of, the collector in me is like, yeah, I want the collector's edition cover, and I want this one, but maybe I'll get that one. Maybe because it's a little more expensive for it's 50 for the collectors. But I was like, nope, you're right. I was like, I was getting cover A2 because it matches the first one, and it all look the same. And he's like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I get it. It's like, my poor little boy, he's got OCD like his daddy. But these are just good books, and I just hope that I find reach a few people that have kids. And my son is 13, and he's been clamoring for book 2 ever since the release of the first one, which was like 2 years ago, I believe. I believe it was 2 years ago when the first one was released. And he's been asking me, when's it coming? When's it coming? It's like, I don't know. Not yet. Not yet. He keeps talking about it, and I keep listening. I keep waiting for him to say when it's coming. And when you do stuff independently, there's a lot of things that can go wrong and hiccup the whole process. So I was like, it's finally here. I was like, come in here and pick your cover. And so we did. And we purchased our 2 copies, and we're waiting for it. The campaign ends sometime in January. I forget when. So you've got a couple months. So if you don't want to, like some people like me, I was kind of like, okay, yeah, definitely not going to go hog wild because I'm already 8 presents deep into my kids for Christmas. So I've been Christmas shopping already. So this kind of, plopping down $70 that you wasn't really expecting, that's okay. But if things are tight and you still want to get these, it is going to go past Christmas into January for that reason. So I just want to share my love of the book and the fact that I like it. I enjoy it. But the fact that my son enjoys it means I enjoy this book, this graphic novel, even more because it's something my son enjoys. So absolutely anything like that, I want to encourage my kids. That's like, we were at Half Price Books at the flagship store in Dallas this morning, and I was like, let's just go around and look in different sections. Let's pick books. Let's just pick up books out of different genres. I was like, let's find. It's like, well, I don't know if I'd like this. Like, well, we're gonna buy them. We're gonna buy because we start in the clearance section. And I was like, look, these books are like $2-3. Like, if you don't like them, fine. We'll bring them back, sell them back for like $1, and we'll buy some more. No big deal. So that's one of those things I'm always trying to help my children explore new horizons, especially when it comes to reading, because with reading, there's so much out there. Of course, we picked up the new Wimpy Kid's Diary of a Wimpy Kid book, and got him a History of Pirates book. And so it's like, yeah. I was like, do you like pirates? He's like, I don't know. I was like, here, let's check this one out. It's a History of Pirates. It's $2. And it's a hardback. And I was like, just kind of read through it. And it had illustrations. Like, let's see, if you like it, great. We'll get you some more pirate stuff. If you don't, we'll give it to one of your cousins. I'm sure one of them will love it. No biggie. So anything like this. And I've already told my brother about this. And I was like, hey, I have a nephew that is like an avid reader, doesn't do comics, graphic novels, or anything like that. That's not him. But I have 2 others that do. And I'm like, hey, the boys might like this. And I sent it to him. I was like, I've got the first one, and they can borrow my copy, see if they like it, and then you can get them for them. And he's like, okay. He's like, I'll pick it up tomorrow. Perfect. So I'm spreading the word, not because I'm paid at all. I've never met anyone involved in this project whatsoever. Never talked to them, email, text, nothing. I'm doing this because of the love my son has for these books, for this book. And he's going to have the same love for the second one, I'm sure. He's waiting for it. He's been waiting for it. I've been waiting for it because I want to see how the story ends. I want to see how the whole story lays out. And it's just that love of a book series that I just hope some people find it also. That this be something you love or something your children love. And like I said, my son's 13. He's been waiting for the second book. He's on fire for it. So I just want you to know, if you're looking for something that's just off the wall that you may never have done for your kids, this is something great. It's a graphic novel. The trailer, that is an accurate representation of kind of what John goes through in the first book. His, different struggles, but it's the same type of thing. He's in Grey World and he finds Blue, and he's come over and he's got questions and exploring, well, what's adventure? What is what does all this mean? What does this mean? He's asking all these questions, and like, that's what kids go through. They ask questions, and they don't feel guilty about asking questions. What does this mean? What would it mean if I wanted to do something else than what I think I'm supposed to do? These are all questions and struggles that kids go through. I remember going through that, and I probably relate more to Fortuna than John at this point, based on the trailer. So I was like, when I was a kid. So yeah, I'm excited, and I just want to share my love, and hopefully someone out there finds how much of an impact these books can have on your children, and that is worth every cent. If I can get my son to read, to think, the price I need to pay for that is acceptable. It didn't say negotiable or too high or too low. The price I have to pay, period, is acceptable. Because what I do for my children is acceptable, no matter the cost. I will do what it takes to help grow and support my children, period. So that's why I made this video. So just reiterating, not being paid. Don't know anybody. This is 100% out of love of what this has sparked in my son. So give it a look. Just give it just reach out there and see what you think. Until next time, my friends, as always, I love you all, and there's nothing you can do about it.